Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Tea and Tights special with the Violent Gentlemen's Society. You cannot hide from them. Be it at TNT, be it at Wrestle Island, or Infamous, where they are undefeated in trios competition. And now, ahead of a very specific brand of hostility on October the 8th at the Runcorn Masonic Hall, the Violent Gentlemen's Society have honoured Tea and Tights with their presence. The Violent Gentleman himself, Mr. Tommy Jackson. The Payne King, KC Payne. And the Scum, Christy Quinlan. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
Yo.
Let's start off with an easy question. What have Made to Last and Patrick Quaid let themselves in for?
Podrick is my little brother. So if he doesn't know already what he's let himself in for, that's on him for not paying attention. I know everything he knows and more, and I'm going to prove it.
And I've never got to sort of beat up Christy's little brother before, so that's going to be fun for me. And as for Made to Last, they're just in the way. They're just there. Just, swat them away. No problem.
It's unfortunate. I like those guys.
Yeah, they're a great tag team, Made to Last, but they got nothing on VGS.
No.
You are, of course, undefeated. So, coming off your match this past weekend with Brennan, Klein and Brooks, how are you guys feeling?
Well, we enjoyed it, to be honest. We had a great time. I don't know about them, but we had a great time.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Although I nearly fell asleep when Matt Brooks was singing, that took way too long.
Genuinely, it almost
we had to cut it off in the end.
Yeah, we just had to sort of take them out to start the match because it just went on far too long. And yeah, it was just doing what we do best, and that's just destroying people.
And in the meantime, saving fans from that rather lengthy intro.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, and also, we don't get paid by the hour, so we can't be wasting time.
That's it.
Now, I've been going through your social media, gentlemen, and it has previously been mentioned by various members of the Violent Gentlemen's Society that you've been treated poorly by the Infamous management team. Why do you feel this is, and how can they take steps to create a more harmonious working environment?
Well, for me, it's about wherever we've gone. They don't recognise the talent that's in front of them, and I think the opportunities that are being given to other individuals or other teams are undeserving, and we feel that for the longest time we've been sort of pushed down and not given a fair crack of the whip. So we've just decided to take those opportunities into our own hands, and as I say, by making a statement in a way we know how, and that's through beating people up, basically.
Well, look where we are now in 1 year. If we would have just sat back and waited for opportunities, we'd still be sat on the couch doing nothing. We'd be irrelevant. So sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands.
There are many words that can be used to describe you, gentlemen. Irrelevant definitely is not one of them.
Yeah. I think we're all sick of being safe hands. We don't want to show up, be reliable, and all these things that people say you should be to get somewhere. Nice guys don't finish first. It's just a fact. And I'm sick of treading water. I think we all are.
Yeah.
Without wanting to risk upsetting you, I believe when you three are in the ring, nice guys generally finish up on the mat.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
It's a common thing. The thing is that as three individuals, we've been through it. We've been through the hustle and bustle of coming out and getting the crowd cheered up and making them sing and dance. We've realised as soon as we joined as a collective that there's no one that can get anywhere near us. We're not here to put on 5-star classics. We're here to destroy people, and take those opportunities that are being given to us. And I think primarily, we all play a part in that. I think if that link breaks, say, for example, it's a combination of, say, me and KC, or KC and Christy. There's no weakness. We're constantly joined no matter what. And I think people are starting to realize that now, that between the three of us, we've got something extremely special that, no one can touch.
This actually leads very well into my next question, directly for you, Mr. Tommy Jackson. You are known across the Northwest and indeed the whole of England as a bit of a vicious wrestler. Only a fool would cross you. How did you decide on who to put together in this society?
Well, to me, it's obvious. I've got two guys here who, I'm not afraid to say that these guys have taught me a lot, and the way I see it is that, it was during a period of lockdown that, I wasn't very happy with where I was, and I knew that wrestling was going to come back. And there was two guys who, and again, they won't mind me saying this, were treading water. They were stuck in the same cycle. And as I say, for me, it was about putting our heads together and coming up with something that would change the landscape of British professional wrestling. And I think we're starting to do that. People are starting to take notice. People are starting to talk about who VGS are. And as I say, you've got Christy Quinlan, who is one of the, if not the most underrated technical wrestler in British professional wrestling. You've got
Technical god.
He's a technical god. Honestly, you could put him in the conversation with the best technical wrestlers in the UK, and he would, pound for pound, match them. Then you have KC Payne. The sheer size of that man alone is petrifying. Not only that, he can flip. He can do everything that your 205 guys can do. And the problem is that for the longest time, we've all been pigeonholed to be, oh, you have to wrestle this way, you have to wrestle that way. No, we don't. We have to wrestle the way that we want to wrestle. And in my case, I just want to beat people up. It's as simple as that. That's the reason I did it, is because that's the only way I can make a statement and stand out.
So, KC Payne, we mentioned your size, 6'5", 260 pounds. You are one of British wrestling's true heavyweights, and you have dominated your opponents recently. Who can you see on the infamous roster who could possibly stand nose to nose with you?
Is there even anyone?
No.
I don't even think there's anyone my size, and there's definitely no one my size with my ability. There ain't no one who can, as well as throw people around the ring, as well as fly across the ring myself. It ain't happening. There's just no one there. No one else is 260 pounds, 6'5", and is also a high flyer when needed.
No, this is
just, it doesn't exist. It's not an archetype that you can look for. It's not something you can coach. It's something he was born with. This guy can do it all. So,
I'm going to risk making a statement on having seen a few of your matches. There is an American wrestler who you remind me of a little bit, and God, I hope you don't take offense to this, because I really don't want to upset you, because you are quite a bit bigger than me. Luchasaurus actually is probably one of the only wrestlers I can think of who's got the height, the flying, and the power.
I'll take that as a compliment. Luchasaurus is amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, look where he is.
Yeah. And that was a compliment. Please do take that as a compliment.
No, I do take it. He wasn't the only comparison I would probably look at. I was also looking at someone like Keith Lee as well. Keith Lee is insanely athletic, and the size of the guy.
Yes. Christy, I've mentioned it at the beginning, but I am going to mention it again. Brother versus brother. This kind of match. How are you going to commit to using that technical knowledge on your own flesh and blood?
I'm going to start off by talking about Podrick. 16 years old. He made his debut in Wrestle Island. He was electric. People instantly saw that he had something special. He makes his debut at Infamous, comes out. Bit of a shock to me. That was, he got to showcase himself there. Do I think he's ready? No. Yesterday, he becomes, I believe, the youngest to ever wrestle on TNT, which is pretty cool. But he's not someone who's had to fight for it like me, and that's not a slight on him. He's incredibly talented, and it's hard for people to even not recognize that in him. He's so talented and charismatic, and it comes easy to him, but he hasn't got the fight that this dog does. And that's something that is learned. That's a conditional thing. I've got grit. I'm not afraid to rake someone's eye, to bite, to scratch, to claw. And I just don't think he's there yet.
Okay. A question for you all. There are a number of groups of wrestlers in Britain at the moment. Are there any groups that you can look at with respect?
Respect is earned.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely people we have our eye on.
Oh yeah, there's definitely people. There's this certain group that all wear matching jackets. They've made a name for themselves up and down the country. They are a collective of, the most recognizable faces in British wrestling at the moment. I would tip my hat to them. I think, they deserve to be where they are. I hope at some point we get to share the ring with any combination of the three of them. As far as others, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah. There's I don't like to pay attention to other people because there's different circumstances at play. I think if us three focus on us, that's the winning thought process.
Oh, ignoring the British wrestlers, trios wrestling around the world is on the upswing at the moment. Not least of all because of AEW's Trios Championship. Are there any international trifectas that you would like to meet up with?
Probably CM Punk, Ace Steel, and Colt Cabana.
Awkward.
I don't think that one's going to happen.
It's certainly one way of grabbing headlines.
I think for me, I think what would be a great showcase would be a combination of FTR and another singles wrestler. I think FTR are, for me, the best tag team in the world at the moment. I don't think anyone can get anywhere near them, except my boys. They're up there. As far as pure professional wrestlers. Even if they wanted to just go it alone, by all means, House of Black would be pretty interesting. Similar sort of dynamic. There isn't really many. Oh
United Empire.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
There's hopefully there'll be some sort of similarities in the careers of United Empire and VGS one day. That's the hope.
Well, FTR are coming over to the UK to take on Aussie Open as part of the New Japan show on the 1st. So I'm sure they'll be paying attention to all of British wrestling to know who they need to be paying attention to. And they
Hey, man,
certainly
it doesn't
need to be-
matter if they pay attention. It matters that the pay us respect when it matters.
Okay. I'd like to go over some of the matches we've got coming up with the next Infamous show, and I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on some of them, if that's okay. I'm going to start off with Polish Barry versus R.Y. Lloyd.
Polish Barry, yeah.
Ryan Lloyd's going to tear him apart.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
The only thing that you can give Polish Barry credit for is that no matter how many times you beat this kid down, he still comes back. He never learns his lesson, but he will still come back.
Yeah.
You know what he's got? He's got all the right pieces to the puzzle. He needs to kill an edge. The grit that takes it over the edge. The difference between hesitating that final blow and just taking it. Because he reminds me of any combination of the 4 pillars of heaven. You know? Yeah. I know they're a big influence on him. I know he has the moveset to tear through a division. I think he needs the killer's instinct.
Okay. Lance Rivera and Conor Klein versus Matt Fox and Dylan Roberts.
Oof.
Lance Rivera is one of my best friends.
Conor Klein is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And I hate everyone.
But what I will say is Matt Fox taught me everything I know. He's the reason that I'm still wrestling. There were so many times that I've phoned them, crying my eyes out, thinking, man, what am I doing wrong? And his wisdom and emotional maturity have always been a real inspiration to me. But yeah, that guy, aside from being an amazing dude, he's one of the best wrestlers I've ever watched. He's one of the best wrestlers from a fan's perspective that I've ever watched. He's insanely good. I've been to WWE shows. I've watched Shawn Michaels live. I've watched Randy Orton live. Matt Fox is in that caliber of performer.
Well, you'll be pleased to know that Matt Fox did actually mention you when we interviewed him at the end of last year as somebody to keep an eye on. So there we go.
He's a king.
Isaac North has a match against Jinner. What are we thinking?
Sorry for Jin, huh?
Yeah. I'm glad it's not me.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's what, like, I'm not scared of many people. Isaac North is one of those people. He is a genuinely terrifying dude. Not even just the face paint, but just his stature, his aura is scary. He's not a nice dude to be around.
he smells so bad.
Yeah. But yeah, he's yeah. I'll just say there'll be a prayer for Jinner the night of Infamous.
Yeah. And a toast after.
Yeah.
Drill versus Jack Johnson.
Salford.
Wow. Salford.
We haven't really got time for Drill.
Yeah.
Short but sweet.
Salford.
Salford.
Jack Envy versus Joe Kessler.
Interesting.
This one's interesting.
Very.
Incredibly interesting. Kessler is a guy that I trained with early on in his career and his training, and he was always a machine. It's only been the last 2-3 years that I've just seen a different side of him. He's dropped all inhibition, and he goes out there, and he's a guy that you can see in one of the big 2 wrestling companies' main event scenes in the next 5 years. He's that good.
And I want to wrestle him.
Yeah. Cool face, man.
Declan McCarthy versus Chase Alexander.
2 straight killers.
That's going to be a banger.
I'll be, depending on placement on the night, I'm hoping to be pint in hand by that point and just enjoying it. I'll be honest, couldn't call a winner. Chase Alexander is one of, if not the most underrated wrestlers in the UK. He's just a pure psycho.
Yeah.
Can smash out a martini in record time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really rate him. And again,
Declan McCarthy is.
I'll let you take this one, Christy.
That man's belt, like the size of my head. Being lariated with the force, that the torque that those things could get, makes me scared. And I think this is an awesome clash of styles. Dex is very to the point. He'll push Chase to get that straightforward match out of him, I believe. If he lets Chase wrestle a Chase Alexander match, I think it's all over. But Deck is that man's great.
Great.
Yeah,
Another
he's always
person-
ready for war. Always ready for war. Go on, carry on.
My apologies. Another
okay.
person that we had on the show recently was Leah Raven. And she mentioned on the show that one of the matches that she really, really wanted was Harley Hudson. And that match is coming up on this show. I think this is going to be a show stealer.
Yeah.
Definitely has the potential, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The talent involved. It's insane. Harley is one of my best friends as well.
Harley's
she
our
was-
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
She
known Holly
was
for a long
there.
time.
She was the first person to talk to me when I first joined wrestling school. And since then we've been really close, and just seeing the development of just what she's done is insane. She is so talented, and she never lets that go above hard work. She never stops working. She's always working.
Andy, our other interviewer, always describes her as the Scouse Mouse powerhouse.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
It is.
Get that on a t-shirt.
I wrestled Harley Hudson just over 12 months ago. And she threw me around like I was a cruiserweight. She is insanely strong. I got the win, but she is not someone to be underestimated. Leah, I don't know personally. I've heard very, very good things. And again, hopefully we'll get our business done early and we can enjoy this with a pint.
She used to be a boxer, She used to be a boxer.
Nice. That's going to be a very, very interesting match to watch.
That will be a banger. I'm calling it.
Now,
Be a great match.
Mr. Payne and Mr. Jackson, you are wearing some very nice hoodies there.
Oh, thank you very much.
And you also have one of the best T-shirt designs in Brit Wres at the moment with your 3 skulls Violent Gentleman Society T-shirt. Quick question: who designed it, and where can people get it?
Yeah, have a
Have
guess.
a guess.
Yeah.
Have a guess, you're gonna.
I couldn't possibly.
It is one of the 4 pillars of Brit Wres, Elliot.
Yeah.
The guy's output's insane. The fact that he's such a nice guy is a bonus because he's such a professional. Everything he's done for us has been above and beyond what we expected.
Yeah, I would put that T-shirt up against pretty much anybody else's in Brit Wres and say that it is one of the best.
The pink one has me salivating. Great cause as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, but Elliot's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Right, gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the interview. I am going to ask one last time, do you have any message that you want to put out specifically to your opponents or to the infamous roster or any roster in the Northwest and the UK as a whole?
Quite simple. All I can say is during the last 12 months, look at what we've achieved. We've gone from nothing to being pre-main event at a TNT show. If we can do that in 12 months, imagine what the next 12 is going to achieve. We've got Infamous coming up in less than 2 weeks. After that, sky's the limit for VGS.
That's what I was going to say. Sky's the limit. Well, what I would say is, we have, it's on the sleeve, but I don't want to show you. But obviously, our catchphrase is "We are inevitable." It's not just a snappy catchphrase. It's saying that our success is inevitable. Us getting to where we want to be is inevitable. So that's what it means when we tell everyone that we're inevitable, and we've been proving it for 12 months now. As Tom said, we've gone from nothing to pre-main at TNT. That's massive steps in such a short period of time. Where are we going to be in 12 months after that?
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you like us. It doesn't matter if you shake our hands in the locker room. It doesn't matter if you think, wow, those guys suck, because we're in the same locker room as you. We're rising faster than anyone. What are you going to do about it? This show on the 8th of October, it's going to be banger after banger after banger after banger. And I know for a fact people are still going to be coming away from a show that has Harley, Hudson, Lance Rivera, Matt Fox, made to last, my own little brother on it. And they're still going to be thinking, man, infamous Violent Gentleman Society, that's something special, that's lightning in a bottle.
So remember, everybody, you can go along and watch a very specific brand of Hostility on October the 8th at the Runkle Masonic Hall. You cannot hide from the Violent Gentleman Society. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And remember, don't feed the trolls.